Welcome back to the Alpha platform, you guys. This episode will be another addition to my segment, The Economy Doesn't Care. And I really love that phrase because it truly does not care about your thoughts, your opinions, what you believe, how you feel, like how you think the world should be, what you feel the world should look like. The economy doesn't care. Either you play by its rules or you get eaten alive by the people who will play by the economy's rules. So yes, the economy doesn't care. So today I'm going to be talking about and giving you guys some secrets that I learned from board executives. I actually had a meeting with a board executive, and I'm also going to be talking about DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, along with affirmative action. Now I'm going to be giving you guys my perspective and what I guess a lot of Black people have noticed about DEI and affirmative action, and it may shock you. Like it may shock a lot of you guys because, a lot of you guys are not Black. Some of you guys are Latino, white, and, I really want to appeal to a large audience, and I think I do by the comments. And what I want to say is that on this channel, I'm going to be talking about life. I'm also going to be talking about retirement, employment, working a W-2 type job. We're going to be touching on just, basic things that affect the average person. And if you like those type of topics, just please subscribe. A lot of people, like 90+% of people that watch my videos, watch my shorts, thank you so much for the support. But you guys are not subscribed. Like, please subscribe, please. Like, if someone's giving you content and you enjoy it and the commentary is like appealing to you, help that person out by subscribing. It's free. Anyhow, board directors. So yes, I had a meeting with a board director, which is very rare because, these people are very secretive. They don't like to come out of the shadows. They don't like to tell you who they are. They don't like to reveal their identity and their names. But I was lucky in this case because this particular guy was very chill about, what he did and how he got to where he is. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened right now. So at one of my prior places of employment, this board director had a meeting with us, and he was like, hey, I know that we've been, secretive about what we do and how we do the things that we do. And I just want to have a meeting with everyone to discuss, so you can learn more about the process, essentially, and what we do. He sat us all down in this meeting, and, he gave his spiel about how he got to where he was. He talked about what the board does, and then he gave us Q&A time. And he was like, you guys ask any question you want to ask, I'm going to answer it. So sure enough, like in my heart sank because I knew what was about to come. Like I knew the other employees wanted this guy to spill the tea. And sure enough, they asked him. Like they asked him, hey, like how did you become a board director? This dude said, well, I knew someone, and he was quiet when he said this. Like he was very quiet. And his tone changed. Like when it was time to answer this question, his tone changed. Like he kind of put his head down and he said, well, I knew a person in the board who was in the board already. And that person came up to me. Let's say his name is Bob and this other guy is Mark. Bob came up to Mark and said, hey, we've been friends for a while. We have this open position on the board, and would you like to join? And the dude that was having a meeting with us, he said, yeah, I would like to join. He was quick to say that he's not paid for his position on the board. And I don't really believe that. I mean, you may not be getting compensated, with a salary or a bonus or anything like that, but you're getting some sort of financial compensation somehow. You may not have been forthcoming with the details, but you have to be getting paid for your time. Like you're not just going to sit on the board of a company and not get compensated. So I know that's happening, and he just wasn't clear about that, and I'm okay with that because I'm not here to count people's pockets. But the troubling thing is it really is a boys' club. Like in this particular company, there were no women on the board, there were no Black people, there were no minorities, there were no LGBTQ plus people. So it's like whatever you think about the board, It's actually true. Like, this is a secret club. Like, these companies have secret clubs that are making major decisions about people's lives and the economy at large. And I'm going to tie this into DEI and affirmative action. But it's a shame that people who are different, people who don't fit the mold of being a white, heterosexual, cisgender male, they don't have access to these opportunities because by default, the men that are running these companies that are on the board, they don't hang out with people who are different from them. So how can we have access to becoming a board member if you don't know us? Like, if you don't have friendships with us in your day-to-day lives, like, the rest of us are screwed, and that's why I tell people to stop relying on these jobs. Like, you need to look at a company for what it is and stop being so, like, stop looking at it with rose-tinted glasses and stuff. Like, this is a company, and they owe you no loyalty. They owe you nothing. So they're using you. So use them back. Do not give them your all. Do not give them, your hopes and your dreams and put things on hold in your life for a company. No, don't do that, because they're looking out for themselves. And the only person that's going to look out for you as an employee, a W-2 type employee, is yourself. Excuse the video footage, by the way. It's very overcast here. I think it's going to be thunderstorming. And I had to break out my little lamp. I kind of like it, though. Anyhow, DEI, affirmative action. They have been trying to get rid of affirmative action for decades. Ever since it was passed, you have, some white people have been like pushing for it to be removed because they feel like and I'm gonna get on this. Just hang tight, you guys. Hang tight. I'm gonna break this all the way down because they feel like black people are getting something they didn't deserve. And what I want to say about that is that when they rolled back affirmative action, I think it was last year, I don't remember specifically, a lot of people thought black people would be up in arms. Y'all thought black people would be picketing in the streets, rioting in the streets, like going crazy. Like, no, that didn't happen. And I'm going to tell you why right now. Excuse me. It's because we don't care. It's because we know what affirmative action is about. And we're tired. If you go to apply to a job and you get to the end of the application, they talk about being an equal opportunity employer. They talk about affirmative action. Read the statement, because I always read it, and I see them affirmative action being applied to not just black people, but women, LGBTQ plus people, Latino people, Asian people, Indian people, anybody who's not a straight white male is benefiting from affirmative action in the workplace and at school when it was legal. So black people are a small percentage of the population. No matter straight, gay, lesbian, black people, like, take all of us. We're only like 13% of the population. And meanwhile, we have a large group like white women who make up, I would say, close to, let's say, a third to a half of the population in the U.S. By numbers alone, and black people have been saying this for a long, long time, but y'all don't listen. By sheer numbers, white women benefit the most from affirmative action. We were not benefiting from that. A lot of y'all think that all we have to do is send in a photograph of ourselves with our applications, and we're getting hired. That's not how this works. You still have to be qualified. You still have to, know what you're doing. You still have to have, the educational background, the skill set to match the role. Because they're not just gonna put somebody in a role because of the color of their skin. Y'all don't understand that. Like, you still have to be good. And as a black person, not only good, but better. Like, you have to outcompete people. And that's all we know as black people, is competing. Black people, when you put them, like, I'm not talking about the ghetto ones. Like, I'm talking about black people, regular, average black people. We understand this. This is how the world works in this country. And we know how to compete. Very competitive. In school, in the workplace, in every area of our lives, we have to out-excel everybody to just get a fraction of what they get. And we have to also compete with people's biases. Like, People, you go into the gate from the jump, people think negative things about you, that you don't know what you're doing, that you're not qualified, that you're only here because you're black. Like, people assume these things out of you from the gate, and it's so frustrating. But yeah, black people don't care about DEI. We don't care about affirmative action. We just want equal access to opportunities. Like, stop denying people opportunities because you have biases in your head about them. That's all we want. So if these people who are running these jobs, and if the U.S. culture at large would teach its citizens how to tackle bias and how to proceed with hiring decisions and educational decisions in a fair and equitable manner, we would not need these laws. Like, we don't need them at all. So we're looking forward to seeing what happens in this country next. Another thing I'm starting to see is that the groups of people pushing for the dismantling of affirmative action and DEI, they're using other minorities to do it. And I think it's a very smart decision, because they realize that them as white people cannot directly challenge. Oh my gosh. And again, when I say DEI and affirmative action, we always think about black people, but it doesn't benefit, just only black people. But yes, I forgot my point. I'm going on this rant, forgot my point. But yeah, so using other minorities to tackle these diversity programs that they do not like, and we're okay with it because it's almost like we integrated into a burning house. And a lot of people are not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I just feel the need to say it anyway. And I'm sorry if you're offended, but it's not my intention to offend anybody. I just want to have open and honest conversations with people. Like, I honestly do, because I think that's really missing in today's society. But white people are fighting for their culture right now, for their survival right now. And what I have to say about that is, we as minorities, as black people, we have to, I don't want to say stay out of their way, but let them fight for whatever they want to uphold in this society. We're not going to get our hands wet. We're not going to get our, whatever. We're not going to get dirty trying to defend whatever they built and propped up. So if they want to fight for their survival, for their culture, by dismantling, affirmative action, DEI, let them do it. And just, keep doing what we've always done in this country, which is survive. Survive, because no matter what they do, black people are not going anywhere. And it's so crazy because after slavery, the country thought they had a black problem. What do we do with all these free black people? How can we get rid of them? They try everything. Denying a public healthcare system. That's why we don't have it today. Denying a public healthcare system. Denying access to jobs, resources, financial resources, things like that. And no matter what happened, black people they still survived. Like, we're still here. We're still thriving. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, these white people wanted to exterminate black people, who what we're seeing now is coming back to bite. And what we're seeing now is that their birth rates are on the decline. They're struggling now to survive in this country. And, it's crazy. Like, what you do will always come back to you. And there is something brewing up for white America. And I feel sorry for them. I feel bad for them. I feel scared for them, because it's like, y'all did so much wrong for centuries. I'm talking about savage, barbaric things. Like, if we think what happened in Germany was bad in the 1940s and whatnot, World War II was bad, no, that is nothing. That is nothing compared to what happened to black people in America. You had 4 years of Nazi Germany, 4 years. And there was some persecution before that too. So let's be generous. Let's say they had 10 years of persecution against the Jews. Black people in America have been persecuted and discriminated against in America for centuries. Centuries of a Holocaust. Not just 10 years of a Holocaust. Centuries, 400 years of a Holocaust. Look at this. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. Look at this. Look at this. I kid you not. My grandma is 74 years old. She lived under Jim Crow. She lived under legalized government-sanctioned discrimination. She was a sharecropper. Sharecropping was a field of work. Oh my gosh, if you want to call it work, not work as we know it today, but it was a field established for ex-slaves to do, like to still have some sort of remnants of slavery. But think about it, in my family, centuries of generations were sharecroppers. So you had centuries in slavery, and after that you had like decades, centuries of sharecropping. The first person in my family to be born free as we know it today was my mother. My mother. So that means that black people have only been free as we know it today for 2 generations. And y'all want us to just kind of overcome centuries of trauma, mental and emotional trauma from slavery, financial destitution in 2 generations? Bro, y'all sick. Y'all are crazy. Like, y'all are crazy out here. The reason why you don't understand why black people do the things they do and our community is in the state it's in is because we haven't had enough time to heal. And I tie that back into today's topic, board directors and DEI, is because a lot of black people are saying get rid of desegregation. Because when we were segregated, we had our own stuff. We had our own businesses, our own pharmacies, our own doctors, our own stuff. Now we have nothing. We own nothing. And, back then when we had our own stuff, they kept burning it down. They kept, burning it down. They kept like destroying all our businesses, all our progress, and we had to rebuild over and over and over and over again. And so finally they say, you know what? Let's just segregate these black people with us, because otherwise, they could potentially have some sort of lawsuit on their hands in the future. Like, the world was starting to progress and change. And I think that America, they needed to catch up with the times, because they were facing something major by, just the outwardly and the savagery and the barbaric, inhumane discrimination against black people. And I'm going to end with this point here. As a black person, what I will tell the rest of you groups is this: y'all better get ready to fight on your own, for your own well-being, for your own specific policies, because black people are done caping. I'm telling y'all, like, I'm not lying to y'all. Read the room. Black people are done saving people. We're done fighting for the rights of other groups of people who come to this country and disrespect us. Don't know that what they have in this country today is because of a black person. The person you're looking down on is the reason why you have a home. You have access to schools, public schools, neighborhoods, like a car, like access to financial resources, a bank account. Like, bro, we went out here and caped for everybody, and we're done. We're tired because y'all don't cape for us. So get ready. Asians, get ready to fight. I know y'all used to being quiet. Get ready to fight. Latino people, I know y'all want to come to this country, put y'all head down and work. Get ready to fight, because that's not how things work in this country. There are constant battles and wars being waged socially and just behind the scenes. Like, this country is not what these immigrants be thinking it is, and they think we as black people are crazy when we're not. That's just what I'll say about it. Y'all think we complain too much when we're not. When we're forced to complain. We're forced to speak up because we've been silenced for so long. We've been silenced longer than we've been able to speak out. So stop the cap. Okay, you guys. Yeah, man. Just, stop denying people access to opportunities. Like, people just want to make a livable wage, and they want to have opportunities to excel and to, climb the ladder of life and do better in life. And I think we really need to, we need to keep that in mind for those of you who are bosses, managers, executives. Like, leave your bias at the door, because if you don't, I promise you it's going to come back to you. I promise you it's going to come back to you. It's crazy, cold world, but it's the truth. All right, you guys, I'm finna go. This money is calling. It's almost Friday. Happy almost Friday to you all. Take care. Peace.